What's up, guys? Welcome to the 36th episode of the Trackside Girls podcast, season 2. We are going to get into Martinsville from this past weekend. The three of us were there. We did not do an in-person episode this time, but if you want to see any of the photos we got with the different drivers and stuff, you can't see mine because I have a private account, but if you want to go see Molly's or Lakota's, they are on their Instagram. They posted some photos from the weekend. And then also Formula One went to Brazil, so we're going to go over that. It's kind of going to be a recap for the three of us because like I said, we were at the track. So we didn't get to see any of the sessions, but it was a little wild, the results of that race, but we'll talk about it. But let's go over Martinsville in the truck series. That one ended a little wild, but let's start from the beginning. Tanner Gray has an issue with his brakes. Tyler Ankrum also with his brakes. Clayton Green and Justin Carroll to the rear. Justin Carroll did not qualify due to a mechanical issue, but it was Christian Eckes to get pole, starting on the inside with Ty Majeski on the outside. The first caution for cause is Matthew Gold slows on the front stretch after losing power, running 23rd. On the restart, Christian Eckes was inside, Ty Majeski outside. Christian Eckes wins stage 1. Christian Eckes still leading. He essentially dominated this race, but he led basically all of the laps. Lap 98, Dylan Lupton crashes in turn 2 from 29th. And they end stage 2 under caution, which Christian Eckes wins that stage as well, sweeping the stages. But it is Ben Rhodes on the inside, Christian Eckes on the outside. The next caution is Caden Honeycutt makes contact with the wall between turns 1 and 2. On the restart again, Christian Eckes leads Nick Sanchez on the outside. Dean Thompson makes contact with Tanner Gray, entering turn 3, who makes contact with Brett Moffitt, who goes into the wall, and Corey Day also slows. Throughout this time, Taylor Gray is putting his heart and soul into racing, like into getting ahead of people. He makes it up to 3rd place at this point in time. On the restart, Christian Eckes leads. Taylor Gray ends up on the front row after Nick Sanchez chooses to restart behind Christian Eckes. So it is the two of them fighting for the lead, but Chase Purdy ends up hitting Grant Enfinger, who spins Stuart Friesen while battling for 6th. Johnny Sauter also suffers damage. On this restart, again, Christian Eckes on the inside, Taylor Gray on the outside. Taylor Gray edges ahead, entering turn 1, then clears Christian on the backstretch. Christian bumps Taylor Gray, entering turn 3, sliding him up the track into 5th. So he loses spots. Ben Rhodes ends up doing the same thing to Christian Eckes, bumps him, takes the lead. And then Christian Eckes bumps Ben Rhodes back for the lead, and Chase Purdy takes 2nd, and it's Ben and Chase fighting for 2nd. But it is Christian Eckes to win. Ben Rhodes takes 2nd, Chase Purdy 3rd, and Corey Heim and Ty Majeski clinch a championship 4 playoff spot. So Taylor actually ends up bumping Christian Eckes on the cool down lap in disgust. And because he was very upset that there was no reason to force him out of the way. Like, whenever Taylor went around Christian, he didn't send him up the track, causing him to lose spots. And whereas Christian gave no chance for Taylor to even try and take the spot back, because he fell down to 5th. But after Taylor got out of the car, he was making a beeline down pit road, over the outer pit wall and up to Christian. You could tell before Taylor even made it down the main stretch of pit road that Christian's guys from his team were kind of guarding him in a way, so they knew something was about to happen. They knew Taylor was not happy, and that cost Taylor a spot in the championship 4, because he had to win to get in. We spoke to both Taylor and Christian after the race. We were actually at the start-finish line. Before Taylor even got bumped out of the way, we were standing at the start-finish line because we thought Taylor was going to get the win, so we wanted to be down there for it. And we saw Taylor after, and we were, the 3 of us were literally crushed. We wanted Taylor to win so bad. And,
that would have been his first career win.
So,
in the track.
Meaning, unless he wins next week at Phoenix, he will not have the chance to get a win in the Truck Series, because he is moving to the Xfinity Series next year full time. Unless they decide to let him run occasional truck races, which I doubt he's going to do that, because now that he's in the Xfinity Series, it's not gonna move unless you're the Cup driver, running a couple Xfinity races. It's not really beneficial to you to run anything lower than that, unless you own the team like Kyle Busch used to. But who wants to recount the conversation we had with Taylor after when he was leaving the track?
Taylor. Screw Christian, even though I picked him to win.
So,
I mean, Taylor was both mine and Sid's long shot to win, too.
Yeah. Yep. So after we saw Taylor after the race, he was leaving the track. We, like I said, we told him that we were pulling for him. We are so crushed that he missed this.
Literally said Team Taylor. We were like, screw Christian, Team Taylor. That's literally how it went.
And so Lakota makes these little books, right? They got a whole bunch of pictures in them of us and the drivers. And I happen to have mine open to Christian because I had yet to get him to sign this picture yet. And so I'm holding it upside down just so he can't see it at that moment, because I don't want to really set him off. And then the guy who was with Taylor noticed the book and was like, they're trying to get autographs. And Taylor goes, Christian, where?
Bro, I kid you not. We were all about to square up with Taylor because we were so with Taylor on that. For sure.
If
he would have just waited 10, 15 minutes, Christian would have just came walking right at
Bro, that would have been the best thing of my life.
So
Like like us surround Taylor. Christian would probably be like, "What are you guys doing?" We'd be like, "Team Taylor, bro."
But I even told Taylor, and I was like, dude, if you literally made it such a big deal going all the way over there, if that was me, I would have hit him. And then Taylor's response was literally like, I would have, like, I was trying to, but all of his guys were around. So like I would have hit him.
Well, also knowing NASCAR probably would have finded him anyways if he did even smack him.
I don't think he cared.
I mean, I don't think he cared either. I mean, I wanted to smack Christian, so
Like, and then like I said, if Taylor would have waited about 10, maybe 15 minutes, he would have caught Christian too. Because Christian came out and we caught Christian. And so I got him to sign the picture, right? And my first thing was, gonna be honest, I said, like, I think word for word, gonna be honest, I'm kind of torn. And then that was, I kind of screwed myself by saying that because I was also trying to get his hat. Um, and and then he called me out on, he was like, "Well, you just said you're torn." So that unfortunately kind of ruined my chances at getting his hat. Um but yeah, there's I think it's kind of foreshadowing.
There was controversy during Martinsville weekend.
Yes, that was only the truck race. We haven't even gotten into the Xfinity and Cup yet. Like that was
I mean, the cup one wasn't as necessarily as bad. Ain't no one, no
the
one, fought, no
No
one
one
fought anybody.
over there.
No one fought, but like the stuff that happened at the closing laps of that race,
Mm-hmm.
like
Gonna be honest, I didn't even really know what was happening until it already had happened. Cause I wasn't paying attention, I guess.
but okay, let's go, let's hop into this Xfinity race. Um William Sawalich, Ryan Sieg, and Parker Kligerman to the rear for unapproved adjustments. William Sawalich had a water line issue. Ryan Sieg and Parker Kligerman had brake issues. Ryan Sieg did not qualify. But something that was so wild that was not on my bingo card, Parker Retzloff got pole at Martinsville. Anthony Alfredo starting second, which I believe was his. Or no, actually, I think he had pole earlier this year. But it has been his best starting spot in quite a couple races. On lap 37, Mike Steiner spun out by Ryan Sieg from 18th in turn 4. Again, Parker Retzloff still in the lead. Cole Custer on the outside. Leland Honeyman spins in turn 2 from 17th after contact with Blaine Perkins. Which I don't even think, I was listening to that radio. Okay, I don't even think he hit him. Eric Almirola gains the lead and wins stage 1. Eric Almirola still leading. Chandler Smith on the outside. Lap 103, Mason Maggio spins in turn 2 from 29th after contact with Preston Pardus. On this restart, Ryan Sieg leads the field to green with Brendan Poole on the outside. Again, Eric Almirola gets the lead and wins stage 2. Eric Almirola still leading. Sheldon Creed on the inside. William Sawalich spins from 10th after contact with Anthony Alfredo in turn 1. Erica Almirola still leading. Sheldon Creed on the outside. Preston Pardus, again, contact with the 39 this time, and brings out a caution. Eric Almirola leads the field back to green with Cole Custer on the outside. Dawson Cram spins from 21st in turn 3, bringing out a caution. Eric Almirola still leading Cole Custer on the outside. Sheldon Creed makes contact with Blaine Perkins, which I actually made a comment to Sheldon Creed because Blaine was actually running really well. He was on track for a top 15. And when we saw Sheldon after the race, I told him, and I'm like, Sheldon, I'm kind of mad at you. And he was like, why? And I was like, Blaine Perkins was on track for top 15 if you didn't take it 3 wide. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, that was my fault.
He did say that, though.
So I made sure to tell him that I was very upset with him. But Eric Almirola still leading. Chandler Smith bumps Cole Custer out of the way for second as Brennan Jones wrecks from 13th after contact with Sheldon Creed. Sheldon Creed was just on a warpath, apparently. Like, I don't know what was going on with him.
I can't say I blame him because how many times has he already been screwed this season of actually winning a race and he's came second? 13.
Fair.
So I can't say I blame him for doing what he had to try and do.
But Eric Almirola leads the field back to green. Chandler Smith on the outside. So the field gets stacked up, which pushes the nose of Sam Mayer in because he runs into the back of the car in front of him. Pushes his hood up. And like it was a mess. It was a mess. Because Ryan Sieg and also SVG wreck on the front stretch. Eric Almirola is still leading. Sammy Smith on the outside. We thought Sammy was gonna get this. Like, we were hoping Sammy was going to get it so we could have at least one more junior car in the Championship 4. But it is Eric Almirola to hold off Sammy Smith, which Chandler Smith and Cole Custer end up getting into a fight, which Chandler just comes up and slaps Cole. Like,
fun fact, Cole actually has a black eye from Chandler Smith's
he's a little
see.
bruise right there. But it was Austin Hill, AJ Allmendinger, Justin Allgaier, and Cole Custer to advance. They will be the ones fighting for the championship. So Cole Custer will be defending his title in Phoenix. Now, for the Cup Series. This is a doozy. So, Austin Cindric, Denny Hamlin, Corey LaJoie to the rear for unapproved adjustments. Denny Hamlin wrecks in practice, which he literally backed it into the wall, like, rough. After his throttle sticks, but is Martin Truex Jr. to get pole. Chase Elliott on the outside. The first caution for cause is lap 77. Christopher Bell spins in turn 2 from 14th. Corey LaJoie gets collected. Chase Elliott leads the field back to green with William Byron on the outside. And Chase Elliott wins stage 1. Chase Elliott still in the lead after the restart. William Byron on the outside. Daniel Suarez wrecks in turn 2 from 14th after contact with Daniel Hemrick, who was hit from behind by Austin Cindric. William Byron leading the field to green this time. Harrison Burton spins from 19th with contact from Carson Hocevar. Go ahead. I know for sure at least Dakota has some very harsh words that she would like to say with Carson Hocevar. Even though we yes, we are technically the Carson Hocevar fan club. Okay, we do claim that. But whatever Carson was doing on Sunday, he need like somebody needs to come, like, have a come to Jesus talk with him about wrecking people, especially Harrison, because he has wrecked Harrison on multiple occasions for honestly no reason. A lot of times, so we need to have a little chat, Carson.
I don't even like know what to say. I physically just want to grab him by the back of his neck and just see until he gets it through his head. I was so mad. Like, that is literally where I'm at. I'm like, let me just relentlessly until you get it through your head that you need to knock it off.
I didn't think it was gonna be that graphic. I thought you were just gonna like.
I mean, that would be the easier way to do it, but I'm feeling a little aggressive towards him, so that's about where that's going.
Well, anyway, William Byron leads the field back to green. Chase Hill lead on the outside. Lap 184, Martin Truex Jr. spins in turn 4 from 30th, bringing out the caution. Ryan Blaney now makes it to the lead on lap 192, restarting on the inside with Denny Hamlin on the outside. Carson Hocevar spins Daniel Hemrick into Todd Gilliland, battling for 15th. Like I said, he was on a rampage. I don't know what is going on.
I'm telling you,
Like,
Carson needs a beat down.
Like, what's going on here? What's going on here, bud? Like, bro, chill out.
For real.
Lap 203, Ryan Blaney in the lead. Brad Keselowski on the outside. Brad Keselowski was not helpful in this. Like, so much for a manufacturer teammate, because Brad sucked. Brad ends up winning stage 2. Brad Keselowski leading Kyle Larson on the outside for this restart. Ryan has to make his way back up from 5th, I believe it was, either 4th or 5th. And he finally makes it to Brad, and this is where Brad is essentially blocking him to stay ahead of him. And, like, I was listening to Ryan's radio throughout the race, and he was cussing up a storm about Brad.
Yes, it was.
On another note, Harrison Burton gets sent to the garage. I think it was mechanical issues. I don't exactly know what it was for. But they tried to fix it, but they could not get it fixed, so he did not return to the race. But Kyle Larson was trying to get onto pit road, and was coming in way too fast and almost hit Eric Jones, and kind of spun out into the inside pit wall. But lap 398, Carson Hocevar wrecks in turn 2, from 13th. But it is William Byron leading the field back to green with Kyle Larson on the outside. So Kyle Busch actually ends up losing a wheel, comes off, and you see it just rolling down the front stretch. So the caution comes back out, and Kyle Larson is ruled the leader. So Kyle Larson is leading the field to green with William Byron on the outside.
That's another spot where Blaney was mad, even at NASCAR, because
they went
lost.
Yeah, they went back to apparently like the previous loop, and so Ryan ended up losing spots on the restart when they didn't even make it a full lap, or like I don't even think they made it into turn 1.
No.
So, like, that was stupid. They should have just restacked it the way that it was right before the restart. But basically, Chase Elliott and Ryan are trying to fight back to the front. And with was it 2 laps to go that he finally makes the pass on Chase?
It was like maybe like 20 laps to go or something, like 10 laps to go, something like that.
I was gonna say I didn't think it was that much, but either
It
way,
was something. It was close. It was getting down.
I literally have no idea. I literally zoned out the rest half of the. I zoned out like the rest of the race, and I was like,
I
okay.
was just over there just listening to the spotter and then just watching Blaney because I was just so stressed.
To be completely honest, I couldn't even tell you who I was listening to. I have no clue. I was zoned out. I was like,
You started with
like,
Harrison, then you went to Noah, and then you went to Blaney.
I don't even think I was listening to. I don't even know. I was so zoned out.
either way, Ryan Blaney in a must-win, won again in Martinsville to get himself into the championship 4. So he is able to defend his championship next week or this weekend at Phoenix. So that means Joe Logano, Ryan Blaney, who's Tyler Reddick, and they had okay, this is where we're gonna talk about. So 9 different people were fined for race manipulation, because the Chevys were basically doing a blockade on the closing laps, against Christopher Bell. Because if Christopher Bell gained more spots, he was the leader of the tiebreaker between him and William Byron. And they were on the cut line. Christopher Bell was ahead of William Byron, but they were equal on points. So if, say, Christopher Bell lost a place, William Byron would take the lead, or if he gained any spots, he would gain points on William Byron. And William Byron could not lose or gain spots, actually, he had to gain spots for this to happen. So, which is why, over the spotters and between the drivers, they classified it as race manipulation because they were doing a Chevy blockade, basically trying to keep Christopher Bell from being able to pass. And so Christopher Bell finally gets past Bubba Wallace, manufacturer teammate, and Bubba Wallace clips Christopher Bell. You can see it on the video footage, just barely skims him, sends him into the wall in the middle of 3 and 4. And just so Christopher Bell does not lose any points, he stays in the gas. So a half-baked hell melon. He didn't gain any spots. I don't think he lost any spots. But because NASCAR deemed it as a safety violation, he was disqualified. So meaning William Byron got the final spot in the final 4 due to a safety violation. All because Chevy was doing a blockade and working together to keep him from gaining or losing spots. So I was talking with a couple people that I know, and they said that Christopher was also just kind of irritated with the Chevys blocking him. So between the fact that he got loose and got sent into the wall, which was another reason why he didn't take his foot out of the gas. He did go over to William Byron whenever they decided. It took about probably like 20 minutes for NASCAR to decide who was that final spot. Christopher Bell did go over to William Byron and told him, he's like, man, that's not how I wanted it to go down, but congratulations for him to get the final spot. But It was announced earlier today, on the day that we're filming this. 9 different people got fines. It was Austin Dillon, Bubba Wallace, and Ross Chastain. Along with them, their spotters, and their crew chiefs, right? They all got fined due to race manipulation, which a lot of people kind of see it as, well, what's the difference between the manufacturers working together at a super speedway and pitting together and things like that compared to this? I see that a little different. Obviously, in speedway racing, you need packs to be able to stay up at speed. Whereas at a small track like Martinsville, they are deliberately creating a blockade. That's what Austin Dillon, and I'm assuming that was Ross Chastain who was with it, who was running next to him. They were deliberately blocking Christopher Bell to keep him behind them. Like, it's almost as if you're on a 2-lane highway and, like, you got a semi in one lane and you got a car in the other, and the car will speed up just enough to run along that semi, and then it'll slow back down. And then you try to get over behind the semi to jump around the car, and the car speeds up. Like, you're blocking them in. Like, I could see the frustration from Christopher Bell that way. Like, for that happening to him. And it happened for multiple laps. It wasn't, like, it happened for, like, the last, like, I want to say 25 laps of the race. So, for that continuously to build and fester, I would also be irritated, because my road rage could never.
Neither could mine.
So,
because the radio between was like Austin Spotter and like in the one and everything, it was like they were telling Austin like William Byron's like point steals and everything, and how, and then Austin goes, "Does the one know the deal?"
Here's the thing that's the funniest to me, is when they literally talk about it over the radio, and I'm like, are you dumb? Like, do you not think NASCAR's not gonna look at your radio?
like, your radio is literally broadcasted live.
Literally, and I don't think half the time people don't run that through their brains, and I'm like, are you literally dumb? I'm like, NASCAR can literally pull that, and then guess what? You'll get a penalty, and then you'll be mad you got a penalty, but it's like, bro, you literally, we have, like, the words that was said over the radio.
Like, they also, organizations also lost owner points and were also fined, as well as those 3 drivers lost driver points as well.
I also think if Christopher Bell didn't like stuck it in the throttle and just leave it there, if he got off the wall, I think he would still be in it.
Yes, I think if he would have been able to actually keep it off the wall, like, I don't think it would have changed his points at all. Like, if like, because, like I said, him keeping it in the gas, he didn't gain any positions like how Ross did. So, or whenever he originally did it. So, it, like, if he would have been able to stay off the wall but still been able to keep in line, like, he would be the one in.
And we would have no
we all knew a Hendrick car had to be in, because, you know, all the other Hendrick cars are out. So we all knew a Hendrick car had to be in.
Well, that's the thing. So my dad actually saw Jeff Gordon in between the time of the end of the race and the time that they were deciding. And Jeff Gordon seemed genuinely worried that William Byron would not get in. Because, like, Jeff Gordon did not think that NASCAR was going to like agree in their favor.
Obviously, they were going to because, what's a championship race without a stupid Hendrick car? That's really what it comes down to.
It would have been a really long time since a Hendrick car was not in the championship four.
Exactly. That's why
Because
one had to be in there.
Who was the Hendrick car last year? Was it Kyle? I think
it was Kyle.
And then the year before that,
it was Kyle and Willoughby in it last year.
But either way, it would have been a really long time since they did not have a Hendrick car in the Champ 4. So
I thought it was funny when Blaney did his press interview in the media center, and then he was asking, "What happened out there?" So I don't know what happened, and some of the people are like, "You won." There's people back there. I was like, "You won."
It's like, buddy, that's not what I'm talking about.
And then Bob was like, "Are you happy not to be in that situation?" He's like, "Yeah, right, I am." I thought that was funny.
So, let's talk about the race in Brazil. In FP1, I'm pretty sure Friday was the it was the only free practice session, but I think it was the only calm session of the weekend. K-Mag actually felt unwell, so Ollie Behrman took over for him for the weekend. So it was Lando Norris fastest, George Russell second, and Oliver Behrman in a Haas in third fastest in the one free practice session. It was a sprint weekend, which I did not realize, so we did not do our picks for the sprint. But sprint qualifying was Oscar Piastri getting pole. He beat Lando by 200ths of a second, with Charles being in third. The next day, for the sprint, it was a wet session, I do believe. But Lando Norris won the sprint race with Oscar Piastri coming in second. So the virtual safety car with Hulkenberg. So Max Verstappen got investigated for a virtual safety car infringement and received a 5-second penalty and got a 1-point penalty on his license, or his super license. So he moved down a spot. But like I said, it was Lando won the sprint. Qualifying actually had to be postponed due to the weather. It was moved to the morning of the race, and it was still rough. A lot of people crashed. So it postponed from Saturday. Both Fernando and Alex crashed. Lando got pole, George Russell second, and a surprising Yuki Tsunoda qualified third for his best ever qualifying. Yes, okay, so Lance crashed at the end of Q2. Franco crashed at one point. Alex Albon crashed. Fernando Alonso crashed. Carlos Sainz crashed. So there was a lot of controversy around them making the comment that Williams, that Alex would not compete because they could not get his car fixed in time, while Franco was able to continue in the race because he did not sustain as much damage. So people were upset that the double standard of how earlier in the season Alex Albon took Logan Sargent's car for the race, for the remainder of the Grand Prix weekend, and how Williams did not do that this time with Alex and Franco. So that was double standard, annoying little tidbit. But either way, qualifying, Lando Norris, like I said, first, got pole. George Russell second, and Yuki Tsunoda third for the race. It was again wet weather. So again, Alex Albon was the only one to definitely not start the race because they were not able to repair the car. Carlos Sainz had to start from the pit lane because they changed his power unit and gearbox. Max Verstappen ended up starting 12th, but had to drop to 17th after taking a 5-place grid penalty due to the new internal combustion engine, because he was over his allocation. And on the formation lap, Lance Stroll spun into the dirt, gravel, whatever little pit thingy they have at Brazil, before the race even started. Franco pulled into the wrong grid spot because the empty spot in front of him was originally supposed to be Lance Stroll, so he pulled into the wrong spot. So they had to have a virtual safety car because Nico Hülkenberg became beached off track, but he got going again. Oscar got a 10-second penalty for causing a collision with Liam Lawson. Lap 32, they got a red flag thrown for a big crash for Franco Colapinto, where he hit the barriers. Behrman also spun off into the barriers in turn 7 on lap 36. But he was luckily able to get going again before suffering another moment a couple of laps later. Safety car came out, or actually returned to the pits after lap 40 because Carlos Sainz crashed. Double yellow flags made a brief appearance following a slide for Oscar Piastri. But ultimately, it was Max Verstappen to finally win a race again. We finally heard the Dutch national anthem again. And I don't even know how many races. But the surprising part that literally, like, I checked the race results, like, right before driver intros of the NASCAR race, and saw the mind-baffling, like, oh my god moment. A double Alpine podium. The one time I do not choose an Alpine. That was wild. Insane. Would have never guessed that. That was not on my bingo card. Let's do the stuff in the group chat real quick before we hop into this weekend's stuff. All right, so our What's on the Group Chat segment. Header Racing has acquired the assets from Brett Holmes Racing and will contest the final 2 truck races of the season. Brett Moffitt ran in Martinsville and will run in Phoenix in the number 4 truck as to prepare for the 2025 season. So Connor Jones ended up being suspended, if you guys did not know, from Martinsville after the Matt Mills incident. So apparently a NASCAR official unexpectedly confirmed that Ryan Preece has a seat for next year. I didn't actually listen to the interview on SiriusXM, but they made a joke like that RFK was like, "Hey, we have this in place. Don't tell anybody," and then it has a picture of Christopher Bell, with saying that those are the NASCAR officials because Christopher Bell leaked Chase Briscoe for next year.
That is true.
But Miles Stanley is going to be the crew chief next year for the number 21 for Josh Berry. Charles Denecki, hopefully that's how you say it, is now going to be taking over Booty Barker's position in 2025. Booty will move to competition leadership position within the team at 2311. And Charles is currently Christian Eckes' crew chief in trucks. The fastest pit stop in NASCAR history belongs to Carson Hocevar at 8.29 seconds. People still believe that Riley Herbst is going to be the third 2311 driver, which we still have no idea if that's happening or not, but hopefully we shall find out soon. Alpha Prime is keeping Brennan Poole in the 44 full-time for 2025. Wheelin is going to continue its partnership with RCR in 2025 as the anchor sponsor on the number 2 Chevrolet in the NASCAR Xfinity Series with Jesse Love. There's a rumor that Daniel Hemrick is the latest name to be linked to the 19 truck full-time for next season. So I don't know if he has another contract for next year, but we shall find out. So, again, Dean Thompson and Tanner Gray got into it. They were that last caution at Martinsville. So everybody was making a joke that it was going to be a awkward team meeting after the weekend. Daniel Ricciardo went to the Buffalo Bills game over the weekend, and Blaney's win at Martinsville marks the 100th NASCAR Cup Series win for Team Penske with Ford Performance. Prima announces Robert Schwartzman to race in IndyCar for next season. We originally thought it was going to be Logan Sargent, but I'm glad that Robert is getting a chance to race. We believe that Logan he's testing for Meyershank here soon, so he might be moving into a seat with them. Chandler Smith was fined $10,000 for slapping Cole Custer, and they fined Ty Majeski $12.5K for missing the championship for Media Day. Which how do you miss the championship for Media Day? How do you do that? I don't get it. It looks like all 3 teams are are appealing the fines for Ross, Austin, and Bubba Wallace.
Bubba's not appealing. 2311 is not appealing. They want to focus on Tyler in the championship, so they're not appealing Bubba's.
Okay. Jeb Burton is going to be racing in the Cup Series at Phoenix. The only seat left open in the Formula One lineup is the last Visa Cash App RB seat, because Stake F1 just announced Gabriel Bortoleto for their seat being paired with Nico Hulkenberg. F1 is off until the weekend of the 21st, so we still got a couple weeks before they are back. But NASCAR is in Phoenix. It is championship weekend. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do this a little different. We're not going to pick a winner in long shot, just so I don't have to change any of the graphics except for just like one little thing. We're going to do a winner, and then we're going to choose our championship winner. So it could be the same person, or you can say that somebody else, because the way the championship works in NASCAR is you don't have to win the race. You just have to finish the highest out of the 4 drivers. So, you can either have the same driver for both, or if you believe somebody else is going to win the race and somebody different is going to win the championship, you're welcome to do that. Or you're welcome to have the same person. It's totally up to you. But for Phoenix, so you need your race winner and your championship winner. Oh, Rayum is having a third entry with the 27 of Frankie Muniz. I know I originally said Christian as the championship winner.
Yeah, so did I.
But
he ain't
going
going
to. I want to say,
Taylor's
I want to change my answer.
Taylor's going to do everything in his power to make sure that Christian does not win that championship. Can't say I really blame him because, like, he screwed him over. So...
Said Christian. I am the only one that said Corey.
Yeah. I'm changing my answer. I'm going with Corey.
I am also going with Corey.
Which
I'm obviously got to stick with my previous answer.
Again, I think Corey could win this race too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like, because last year, whenever Ryan won the championship, he wasn't the one to win the race. Ross Chastain won the race, and then Ryan won the championship because he finished higher than everybody else.
Ain't nobody care about Ross Chastain winning that race last year. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I'm a little sad that he didn't get a little bit more TV time.
Ain't nobody care about him.
But it is what it is.
It was also like that with the trucks, because in the trucks, Christian won the race, and then Ben won the championship.
Yeah. I thought Ben won that race last year, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know Christian won it. But yeah, I think the Tricon trucks are gonna do everything in their power to not let Christian win that championship. So
I can tell you, Taylor's already gonna did take Christian out, and he don't care.
Like,
they'll have beef. You know what? They'll have beef all next season because they'll be in Xfinity, so they can beef it out there.
So like I said, I'm changing my answer. I'm doing Corey and Corey. So I think it's gonna
Corey and Corey.
Yeah.
Corey and Corey.
All right. So for the Xfinity series, hold on. Let me see. I'm hoping.
I'm torn between two people.
I want
Cole.
Justin to win because Justin gets so close, but then I also want Cole to win because it's literally Stuart Haas's last time. So it's so hard.
That's the two I'm torn between two. The two.
Can Austin Hill just crash out? First lap.
Bro, everybody hates Austin. This group chat hates this group does not like
Lap,
Austin Hill at all.
lap 1.
Austin and
It's like lap 1.
How about Austin and
AJ and
AJ?
Austin take each other out.
I would say yeah, Austin and AJ can just take each other out because ain't nobody care about them.
So I don't know. I mean,
it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens between Cole and Chandler.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with the Justin Allgaier. Because I don't think he's gotten an Xfinity championship yet.
Justin deserves to.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, Justin's been close every single time. And at this point, I think Justin just honestly deserves to win that championship because the way that he's been so close for so many years for getting in the championship four, and he's lost every single time.
Look, you know it would be funny if Sheldon Creed finally gets his first win.
Oh, actually, it would be really funny though.
But no, I think it is. Because I don't want to do the same for everybody.
Earlier this year at Phoenix and the Xfinity, Chandler won that race.
Bro, nobody cares about him. He's trash.
But see the results of the race. Jesse finished second. Sheldon finished third in that race.
See, that's what I was sitting here thinking. And I was like, what if I do Sheldon as my race winner and then Justin as my championship winner? I think that's what I'm gonna do. Because Sheldon's not in the championship, so it wouldn't affect anything. So like, say if Sheldon gets first and Justin gets second, like Justin still wins the championship, which is gonna suck. It's gonna suck if Sheldon finally gets that win, and he only gets 2 seconds of TV time. But I'm gonna feel really bad. But
I'm gonna go Justin as my champ, and then I'm gonna go Parker as the winner.
Fine. You think Parker's finally gonna get that win?
He finished 8th there earlier.
Okay. I think I'll go Sheldon race winner, Justin champ winner.
I think I'm gonna go Justin as the champ and Freckles. You know what? I don't know. I don't know. Bro, I have no idea.
I mean, if you believe he'll win the race, like you can still pick him for the race winner as well.
Well, he did 29th there the first time they raced, so unless he has a better card than the beginning when he first raced there. You know what? I'm just gonna go.
That's because he got in an accident.
Yeah, I know. Frick. I'm just gonna say Sammy because Sammy finished 9th there.
Okay. All right. Now for the Cup Series. I'm kind of torn. I just know that I want a Penske winner. So, I guess I'm gonna go again with Ryan Blaney. Because I just feel like that would be a book ending to his season. Because he's also getting married in the off season. So I feel like that will just like icing on the cake. Second trophy. And then that means 2 drivers at Penske would be 2-time champions. So I'm gonna go Ryan as my champ. What if Ty Gibbs finally gets that win? I'll go. Fine. I'll do that. I don't know. Where he finished, like in the Xfinity series or earlier this year. But
I'm gonna go Blaney as my winner and champ.
okay, so you're doing the same. Okay.
Ty finished third.
Okay, so
earlier this year.
I'll go race winner Ty and championship winner Blaney.
I think I'm also gonna do Blaney.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I say that as I'm literally looking at my body armor championship bottle.
I have one of those around here somewhere. But we also got to be very careful because Joey has had 3 weeks to prepare for this race. They have had 3 weeks to prepare this car, and almost every time that he wins Vegas, like he's very strong in the championship race. Like in 22, he won Vegas and won the championship. In 2018, he won the first round of the round of 8 and won the championship. So hopefully
he finished 34th earlier, but he got in an accident.
Yeah. I just mean in previous years, like when he's won his championship, they've had all that time to prepare. So this is gonna be interesting when they have, because this is the first time that they've had 2 Penskes and the championship 4 at the same time. Because last year Joey didn't make the champ 4, and now this year both of them are in it. So.
Yeah, earlier this year, Christopher Bell won Phoenix.
I was sitting here thinking I was gonna say Christopher Bell, but I don't know how well he's gonna do after this past weekend. So.
But. And Chris Buescher finished second.
Yeah. But. All right. I think. Hold on. Let me break out. Let me break out one of my Ryan Blaney cars. Just because. Just for this outro.
Did you have the box?
I did. Dang it. That's unfortunate. Lakota, do you want to use your Harrison Burton cars? Because this is the last time that he's going to be in the 21 car.
That made me so sad. No, stop. I'm physically gonna cry right now. Hang on. Come here, little buddy.
Oh you just had to step nice deeper into her heart, didn't you?
Listen, I mean,
do you guys? I gotta show you guys my new piece that's going to the collection. that I got at Wood Brothers after Martinsville.
See, also with him being in Xfinity, I feel like he'll be a lot more accessible. Like, because
Like he ain't accessible now.
well, I mean, yeah, but he's only
It'll be easier to
yes, because normally
be a
the
little
reason
bit.
yeah, because normally the reason he's more accessible is because he's always on the merch hauler. Now with the Xfinity series, like a lot of the Xfinity series drivers, they're so much more chill. So okay, all right, all right. Let's round this out because it is late. But thank you guys for watching. Thanks for listening. However you enjoy our lovely podcast, this is this has been the 36th episode of the Trackside Girls podcast, season 2. We're almost done. We got this episode. Not sure if we're gonna do one on that one off week in between the end of the NASCAR, or actually we have to do one after the end, or we have one next week. We might have an off week. I don't know yet. Haven't decided. And then we have the Las Vegas race, and then we have 2 more F1 races after that. I believe Qatar and Abu Dhabi. So our season is almost at an end, but let's get off here. Let's do this outro. It goes peace, love, and race cars. All right. Good night, everybody.
So sad.